Alright, what's up guys? This is Tom Burkart one more time in the 2015 Ford Expedition Platinum. I'm going to do a quick, the last video we extolled, the great benefits and how the Expedition is quietly, like one of the best vehicles in its class, despite it not being very flashy on the outside and looking, almost exactly like the 2014 models to most eyes. It's a great truck. It's so great. But okay, but if I were to own this truck today, or if I were, working on the Ford teams, like what would I recommend, and how could we make this vehicle really just like almost perfect for family duties, for being like a towing hero, and overall just like a really butch, like a pickup capable truck with Range Rover levels of luxury. So the things I would add, are pretty modest. So in the nose we have those new LED fog lights, but they're actually purely fog lights. They are not daytime running lights. So in order to have those fogs, the 3-pack of LEDs lit in the lower bumper, you need to have the parking lights on, and then the handle pulled outwards to engage the fog lights. And even with the lighting in automatic mode, generally those LEDs are not on. So so really subtle thing, like those LEDs are one of the main things that from more than 100 paces really help you be able to tell that this is the new top dog Expedition, along with those like huge 22-inch wheels, which are sweet, which are so great. So those LEDs like should be on. I would prefer that they were on all the time. And then the second thing is also related to the lighting in the nose. We have a new projector beam set up for the low beams, which replaces like a halogen reflector in the previous Expedition. But there are still halogen high beams, and those projectors are halogens as well. So if I were to own this car, I would definitely upgrade them to an HID kit. And that's pretty easy to do. The kits are like less than $50 from Amazon and stuff like that, but they're not very reliable. They're not like OEM reliable, and it just feels like for a 2015 car costing, even the great value of this 67K Expedition, it should have HID lighting to have a consistent sort of like white look in the nose, as well as for the actual functional benefits of high intensity discharge lights are like 8x as bright as a halogen. So that's really would be helpful like on the trail, or if you're going to your cabin, or if you're in the back roads of Colorado or something, where you literally just need light. You don't care what it looks like, you just need it to be bright as hell. So with those, I would change those to HIDs, and perhaps look into changing the halogen reflector high beams to an HID bulb switch as well. And that's like pretty easy. Like we said, it's like a cheap upgrade for the kit, and then you just need to do like a little bit of extra wiring. There's like a special sort of like an electronic box that sort of ups the voltage, and you need to wire the old headlamp lights into that, and then from there's a special plug that goes to the new HID bulbs. So it's easy, anybody can do it, but they're not super reliable. They like burn out a lot, and you aren't going to have that like pure OEM appearance from the factory. So other changes, the tail lights, sorry to be like all about these lights, but the tail lamps are just bulb based brake lights as well. So I would, as someone who's like obsessed with LEDs, clearly would upgrade those internal bulbs themselves to an LED, and that's pretty easy as well. Where they make like all sorts of bulb sizes, like like 7443 for example is like one of those silly bulb sizes for brake lights, and they also make that size actual bulb in an LED. So you don't have to like get those tacky like aftermarket rear lamps or anything. You can just change out the internal bulb optics. So we'll definitely do that. And but besides that, this Expedition is so sweet. It rides exceptionally well, is really quick, and has great handling. It's just outstanding. But if you really were like trying to own this car and make it like just a total giant killer, you can also changed the ECU programming for this twin turbocharged EcoBoost engine, and that there are companies like Cobb, you know, makes like the access port for which I use on my Subaru, and from there you just sort of you don't actually change out any chips. You just you buy this sort of like thing that looks like a graphing calculator, and you plug it into the OBD2 port over here underneath by the driver's pedals. And from there you go through like a few settings and you sort of like reflash it, and you can change it to a couple predetermined like engine maps that instantly deliver, you know, I'd say like a 20% increase in torque and a 10% increase in horsepower. So that might not sound like a huge change, but for a vehicle making, you know, 400 foot-pounds of torque like this Expedition, you know, that's like an extra 80 horsepower without making any mechanical changes whatsoever. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And you can get this up to, let's say, 400 horsepower. And that would dramatically improve. You know, there's obviously great torque and really good throttle response and good power and acceleration at all times in this Expedition. I would compare it most closely with like the up-level 6.2 liter V8 in the Escalade, as well as Yukon Denali. But even so, I mean, who doesn't want more power? I mean, I do. And if you can get that to me, you know, like those ECU tuner guys can in 2 days, and provide this huge power jump that you can switch back and forth and disable if you wanted, if you need to take the car in like to be serviced or something. And typically, like, dealers, by the way, don't even notice that there's a change in the settings, but if you wanted to, like, all that stuff is reversible. So those would be the 3 things I would change about the Expedition, and they're all really subtle. I mean, like LED stuff, and or that I would customize, I guess I should say. Really subtle, and it just shows how great this truck is right from the factory. So it's outstanding. You got to drive them both, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, see you guys soon. This is Tom Burkart from Car Revs Daily, giving the 2015 Expedition EL huge thumbs up. All right, thanks. See you later.